Episode 17. I'm getting what I want. Now what? People who don't understand our landlords selling us our condo at well below market value don't know that we come from a long line of things working out better than we ever could have imagined. We call it magic. Our move to Oregon is a good example. When my former boss, the chair of the Department of Pharmacology at the University of Iowa, took a job as associate director of the Oregon National Primate Research Center, he moved my family of four with him. Let the record reflect, I worked for him part-time, 20 hours a week. He gave me 3 raises that year, and not only did he pay for the move, but he paid for my husband and me to visit Portland several months beforehand to make sure the city was for us. You'd think that's the end of the story, but it's not. The difference in Iowa real estate markets and the Portland real estate market was monumental, at least for us. So Dr. Khan put down $10,000 on our Oregon home. When we repaid him, he didn't charge us interest, just his percentage of the home's appreciation. So an additional $2,500. He could have made a whole lot more money in the stock market. I can't imagine how we could have purchased that home without his help, and we'll always be grateful to him. When we decided we wanted to move from our home in the burbs to the city, I met my friend Nancy for coffee because she'd always said to talk to her if we ever decided to move. The timing couldn't have been any better. She was recently separated from her husband and was temporarily renting a small condo in the same building as her soon-to-be ex. Would I like to see it? I would, and I did. And it's the condo we live in today. Magic. I remember when we met the owners. I did a double take when they told us they would never raise our rent. And over the past 10 years, they never have. So when they made the offer to sell to us a couple of weeks ago, we were surprised by the timing, but not by their generosity. I find it fascinating that some people have to find ways of logically explaining away the owner's generosity, most likely because they've never experienced this kind of selfless generosity in their own lives, either the receiving or the giving of it. They can't fathom it, and so they try to rationalize it. They're agreeing to sell it under value because of the taxes. That must be it. Another point of disbelief is the lack of a timeline other than a preference to finalize the sale before the end of the year. Whether it's the price or the timeline, what we keep hearing from the professionals and everyone else is, you better get that in writing. We smile because we understand that the rest of the world are skeptics and need to watch their backs. But life doesn't work that way for us. We've come to expect wonderful things from our landlords and from the universe. When we got the initial email, my first thought was, I can't imagine this, but I'm open to the possibility. The path forward has become clear. The mortgage broker says it's a go. We talked to our financial guy last week. Not gonna lie, we were nervous because we were asking for a whole lot. At least we thought we were. His response? This is a very exciting opportunity. You've already put everything in place that you need. The condo is the cherry on top. So, unbeknownst to us, we've put everything in place that we need. And not only did we save enough money to retire, but retire early and buy a fucking condo. We're buying a condo. Can you believe this? So, now, what else do I want? When you've gotten more than you ever could have imagined, it's hard to think bigger. Ironic, right? It feels like we're climbing Everest and we've reached base camp. We need to get acclimated to this level before moving forward, upward. So how am I acclimating and preparing for what's next? Well, I'm letting myself be excited about it, joyful even, about everything, the retirement, the condo. There was a time when I thought that if I were too excited, I'd jinx things. My brain would go to, I'm happy, so something bad is about to happen. Brene Brown calls it foreboding joy. The rationale is if I don't feel joy, then I won't feel disappointment. And it's so much bullshit. And so I'm choosing to feel gratitude and I'm feeling joy. And when my brain serves up fear, I'm letting it go. I've also been decluttering and cleaning since I returned from Iowa. Corey's work from home standing desk is for sale. His button down work shirts are next because we don't need these things anymore. And I want to feel the luxury of more open space and less stuff. This week, I'm going to start playing the money game. Have you heard about it? It's a game I learned from Renee Spears that I play when I want to expand the way I think. On day one, you write down how you'd like to spend $100. The rules are you have to spend it on yourself and you can't pay down debt or give it away. Day two, you double it. How will you spend $200? Day three, double it again, $400. I do all right until I get above $800,000. That's where I hit my limiting beliefs. I'm also going to continue to ask myself, what do I want now? What else is there? And take notes on what pops into my brain. It may not be the thing, but thinking about it is how I begin to suss out what's next. And I'm reminding myself that getting what I want is easier than I think. When I started this podcast, ease was at the top of the list of things that I wanted. I just realized that now that we're purchasing our home, I'll have the ease of not worrying about what if our landlords decide to sell and we have to move, and all of the other what ifs that renters face. Ease, check. What's next? I may not have all of the clarity to know exactly what I want next, but I know I want to be more myself. So let's talk about that next Wednesday. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already to My Act 4 and share it with your friends. I'll see you next week.